Welcome to SchlickArtTV. In this month's episode, we're talking about finding and knowing your value.
We are Brian and Lindsay Schlick, and we're actually talking about one of my favorite things today. We discuss knowing your value and self-value with our strategic planning clients all the time. And it is one of my favorite things to talk about because as business owners, we all have to go through it. And Brian and I certainly have a journey of going through and finding and knowing our value. So I think when any business starts, right, including ours, you especially in our case and in lots of business owners' cases, we didn't go to business school, right? We were a specialist first. We understood that we were creatives who came from a video marketing field and a photography marketing field, and we now are beginning a business. As you grow and you make mistakes, you start to put together your cost of goods list, your expenses list, how much you think you should earn, and just the general fundamentals of running a business. And it's very almost like, it's very singular, and it's very, I don't want to say thoughtless, because you do put a lot of thought into these things, but you're not being futuristic. You're not thinking about the kinds of people you want to be in 5 years, the kind of business you want to, you might not necessarily be thinking about your growth or your evolution. You might just be surviving, not thriving. The pricing and the value of this product has to match the level of experience. And I think for me, in those first few years of business, it was the whole thing of being awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, editing, photographs, or talking business with you, or writing marketing plans at stupid hours in the morning, or even responding to emails that were, a little bit strange or a little bit, not the normal for a business. You're like, what are we doing here? And the value of what we've created for ourselves doesn't match what we're doing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we shouldn't be doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning anyway. You haven't valued yourself properly at all.
One of the biggest things you talked about is having mentors, and I think that was a huge kind of churning point for us, because we were, as we were kind of forming our company, like I didn't really see the vision, because we probably didn't really have a vision, to be fair,
you
right?
had a full-time job as well.
And I was working a full-time job and doing my thing there, and I'd come home at the end of my work day, and we would then work on SchlickArt together, right? So it was kind of hard to take myself out of one and into the other, so to speak. And so seeing the vision of where our company was starting and where it was going was really difficult to see, and a mentor, John Vance from Vance Wealth, really helped us through that process, right? He kind of talked us through simple things that it seems so easy at the time when someone's telling it to you, but you don't think of on your own because you're working day to day in your business.
Yeah. He was outside the box, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just simple things of tracking your time and understanding how much time you're spending on creating whatever that product is, whatever that service is, and pricing that matches the number of hours that you're spending. So you're not making below minimum wage, or worse than that, you're making nothing. You're actually doing your job for free, which is horrifying to think about, right?
We see so many business owners, even business owners that have been in business over 5, 6, 7 years, doing this and just struggling and just treading water.
My second point is where that comes in, I think, which we've all felt at some point or another in our careers, lives, businesses, whatever it may be, is imposter syndrome, right? We all, have heard no when we've put out a proposal, or had somebody talk to us about what we do and then say, how much do you charge? And they're like, that's ridiculous, I can't afford that, whatever it may be. So you kind of start questioning your pricing model and whether or not what you're doing is correct. And so sometimes you think, I have to discount my pricing, or I have to throw in something free so that I'll attract these clients, or whatever it may be. And that's where the imposter syndrome comes in, because you're discounting your own personal value, right? saying I'm not actually worth what I say I am. And the way that you kind of or some of the ways that you kind of overcome that is by proving your value, by proving that you have an awesome experience, and that when your clients do come to you, they do see that you are worth whatever that price point is, right?
And then you have to train it like a muscle. And the only way to train it like a muscle is by doing the work.
We have the benefit of working together, right? So like when we do have that moment of self-doubt, we have the other person here to kind of help you through that. Not always, but you know, we can help each other, right? We have that benefit. We have the kind of luxury, right?
Not many business owners have that luxury.
And not a lot of people have that. So some of the other things that maybe to think about is for some clients that you have worked with, it's a really good idea to kind of ask them for like real honest feedback about what they loved or what they didn't love about your experience, right? Because that gives you a roadmap of what you can do to make your experience match your value, right? If somebody tells you like, hey, when you did X as part of your service, it really didn't match the value of what you were trying to do here. And you have to talk to clients that are like real clients that have been through your experience and have like been through it with you, so that you can get that honest feedback from them. But that's a really great way to kind of dispel that self-doubt, or to work on what you need to do to improve that experience and improve your value, right?
Gosh, I feel like when we first started SchlickArt, I mean, it was one of our core values, wasn't it? You know, especially with women, we were helping a lot of women back then not only create beautiful products for their business, but also personally. And one of the things with women is to be self-deprecating and to, you know, negate a compliment. You know, we all say, oh, you look beautiful today, that dress is gorgeous. And it's like, I got it at Target. And it's like, that's like to the negative, instead of just saying, oh, thank you so much, and accepting the compliment and having those feelings that go along with when you accept versus negate. It's the yes and, isn't it? It's the oh, thank you, you look amazing, by the way, you rocked that video. But we worked together and we created something positive, and we're now accepting the good that comes from it, not going, oh, well, it wasn't my best day today, or, you know, you're leading into the positive. And again, you're practicing celebrating your value instead of, you know, imposter syndromes. Let's all start to celebrate our value.
It was hard for me to see the vision. We were working out of a one-bedroom apartment where we moved the dining room table out to the balcony every day before I left for my full-time job, right? Like, so it was hard for me to see that vision, and to see like what we've built now is a whole different kind of ball game compared to that, and what we continue to kind of build on top of that. The kind of thing that I remember that sticks out in my head about kind of it clicking for me as far as value goes is we have a great longtime client that we worked with for a very long time. They told me after we were done creating a bunch of video content for them that what we were charging wasn't enough. And that was a mind blower to me. I felt like what we had charged them was actually too much.
As long as your experience and your service matches your value, you are never going to be too expensive, but you are going to hear those words. And it has absolutely nothing to do with price. It has to do with the fact that people are not educated on your product.
You're still gonna hear no. Like, there is people that are just gonna flat out say,
no, I can't afford you.
I can't afford you. That isn't what I'm looking for. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what their reasoning is behind it. It might just be too expensive for them.
And I think the key to that is, as you grow and you show your value, you match what you're showing to the actual service and experience, and you grow a client base and you market to that client base and you cultivate the relationships with that client base, you hear no less. Two of the biggest statement lessons that we have learned over the past 12 years is a confused mind says no, and no doesn't mean no, it means not now. If you sit by that lesson, that really helps you spend time with the clients that value you. When a client comes to me and is so excited and overwhelmed with a product that we have created for them, that is everything. That is the whole point. We both come from service background. We worked in service, our entire careers before we owned SchlickArt, and we're creatives as well. When you work in the service industry, but you also create a product from start to finish, creators want people to love what they create. Service people want people to love, the way that they serve their clients. So that is the ultimate compliment.
All the stuff that I'm creating is business based, right? For me, the two exciting parts, right? So oftentimes, sounds very weird in a marketing world when you're creating video content, but seeing people cry over something you've created is insane. But it's
happened a lot.
It happens a lot. It's really, really cool to see that they've told their story and told it truthfully, and once they see it on the TV in front of them as we're reviewing it, that they're so blown away that they're like crying about it, which is really, really cool to see. But on top of that, the biggest joy that I get out of seeing somebody create a piece of content for their business and for their marketing that kind of sends it over the edge is for them to come back 2 months later, 5, 6 months later, a year later, whatever, and tell me that they actually gained clients from it and made revenue, and it paid for, and more than paid for, what we charged them for their video. Like that is the entire goal of us creating content for people, right? Is that they're actually using it to market their business and getting revenue and getting clients from that.
This is truly why I love talking about this subject, because to me, as a business owner, knowing your value is everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so our question for you is are you struggling to know what your value is? Because if you are, we'd love to hear about it. Send us a comment below or send us a message. We'd love to talk to you more about it and see how potentially we could help you kind of grow your value and understand how you can help your clients in a more productive and efficient way.